Welcome, webheads. It's that time again for the most supersonic, hypersonic, and harmonic cybersecurity webcast on the internet. So welcome to Head in the Clouds. So take it away, Jules and Jay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the launch of Head in the Clouds, Episode 1. My name is Julie Haste, and I'll be your host. If you're looking to learn more about Prisma by Palo Alto Networks, you're in the right place. We have a very special guest with us today. We will be speaking with a 20-year veteran of IT security, our resident expert, Jason Weber. Jason is a manager of our solutions, research, and development at Cloud Harmonics, currently leading our support, professional services, infrastructure, and so many other initiatives. Before we get started, we have a couple of fun things to share. We know your time is valuable and we appreciate you being with us today. So we'll be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card to one of our lucky listeners. But wait, there's more. We're also raffling off an Oculus Quest 2 to one of our guests who attend both this episode as well as our Cortex podcast tomorrow. So be sure to stick around for more details. Should you have any questions, please feel free to enter them in the chat box, and we'll review all your questions at the end. So with that, let's get started. Hi, Jason. Thank you for being here with us today.
Hey, Jules. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So I get to get in that raffle, right? I'm going to be at both podcasts, so.
Unfortunately, Cloud Harmonics employees are not eligible. Wah, wah. Well, on a more serious note, the last year and a half, we've seen a significant rise in the need to secure remote workers. What trends are you seeing organizations shift to, and where does Palo Alto Networks fit in?
The funny thing about where most organizations are going is it's the opposite of where they've been historically. Instead of having, most people in the office and a few remote, now the majority are remote and very few are in the office. And, this has spurred a very high demand for remote access networking and being able to do it securely, making sure that we're capturing everything and providing the highest level of security and segmentation for our networks. Where Palo Alto fits in is with their Prisma product line. This is that ability to start being more cloud forward and remote forward as an environment, because now you have a scalable infrastructure that is actually hosted in the cloud in GCP for the end users to use to access resources internal to your network as well as out on the internet without having to sacrifice that internet pipe at the data centers, right? It really does kind of give them that all-encompassing connection.
So what makes Prismacloud different from other competing solutions currently being offered in the marketplace?
So, the easiest way to answer that is to say that it's the same management style that what your engineers are used to today. So if you've got the Palo Alto infrastructure in place at your perimeter, it's real easy to also just add those Prismacloud gateways as tertiary firewalls, managed firewalls, just like you have in the data center. This makes it very easy. There's no extra set of training. There's no extra set of technology. We're using the same client, the Global Protect client, which is tried true and has been around for several years, is a very stable VPN endpoint client that's easily managed. So this is the big advantage to it. The fact that it's hosted in Google and you have very close access to that network, no matter what ISP you are on, no matter where you are in the world, makes it very easy to makes the connections quicker, makes the pipe quicker, and because it's again a global Google network that houses most of this, we have gateways that we can put all over the world. You get to kind of pick where they are and they're dedicated to you. You're not using shared commodity resources.
So how does the Prisma product line work with other Palo Alto products, Palo Alto Network products?
We have several products inside of Palo Alto that all work together. Prisma is it's the remote access piece to it when we talk about Prisma Access and Prisma Mobile. That actually runs on the Strata Foundation. It's a Strata firewall virtualized and in its own tenant for you. When we look at the other pieces of Prisma, like the Prisma Cloud, we now have virtualized firewalls that run in any cloud environment on any virtualization stack. So you have a very scalable, easy to manage platform there. There's also the pieces that we have, like the DLP line inside of Prisma, some of the other security mechanisms.
So how is Prismacloud deployed? Can you tell us a little bit about what that process looks like?
So actually, it's funny you should ask. We could have deployed the Prisma initial setup of Prisma could have been done in the time we've been on this podcast, which hasn't been very long.
That's great.
Yeah, it's literally just taking that authorization code and turning around and going out to apps.paloaltonetworks.com, plugging it in. And then about 30-40 minutes later, you'll have your provisioning ready if you're using the web management. If you're using Panorama to manage it, which is the, as our SE team and our professional services team will tell you, that's kind of the preferred method still. We can plug that authorization code into Panorama. Simply install the cloud services plugin and you're good to go to start provisioning your gateways. It's literally minutes to get from zero to at least provisioning those gateways. Once that's done, the policy configuration, again, very similar to the Palo Alto firewall because it's literally just a virtualized Strata appliance in GCP.
So when we're thinking about the sales motion, how can our reseller partners listen and position for Prisma Cloud? Do you have any pointers?
The biggest one, again, with COVID right now, listening for anybody that's suffering through those VPN woes. I need to get a VPN client out. I need to get some remote access. Definitely, Prisma's going to be great for them. Anybody that has a lot of branch offices that's trying to figure out how to do a hardware refresh, Prisma is a gateway to kind of replacing those legacy firewalls with layer 7 content security, the app ID inspection, because all you would literally have to do is create a VPN between that device and the Prisma Cloud, and you now use Prisma Network to run all of that through your Palo Alto firewall. So you can go from that layer 3 inspection to layer 7 inspection with the simple creation of a VPN tunnel until you can replace that hardware with 220s and 850s and even 3000s depending on how big your environment is. Some of the other people to really kind of go and talk to about Prisma are the people that have those kind of compliance mechanisms. We find it real hard to control devices when they're outside of our network, right? We don't have the visibility into them. With Prisma Access and Always On VPN, you have that visibility because now all of your traffic is going through another Strata firewall. Everything's being logged. You can enable decryption. You can enable those same security tool sets and log it all back to your data lake. So you still have that same kind of reporting infrastructure that you would have in the data center or in the branch office.
Can you give us some examples of what an ideal customer might look like?
Any customer. It's one of the cooler solutions. When we talk to customers on the SE side, what we're looking for is the problems they're trying to solve, right? And again, time and time again, it's, man, I've got this SmartNet contract. It's killing me every year because I've got a really outdated appliance. In a lot of cases, the cost of that SmartNet contract is not much less than replacing it with Prisma and having a way easier management, right? The customers that are looking to secure the branch, secure the remote worker, which, this day and age, that's everybody. Schools are huge utilizers of the Global Protect environment and the Prisma environment. Anybody that kind of has those remote field agents and remote classrooms and are really just trying to figure out how to secure that environment, that's who you talk to about Prisma. So like I said, it's pretty much anybody.
Okay, what makes Prisma Cloud appealing for our reseller partners to sell?
It's an easy win. When you actually sit down and show the customer what their return on investment can be. I mean, we talk to customers all the time with partners, and it's always explained to the customer, here's your solution to your problem. By creating those solutions and really taking them to the actual customer, they're building stickiness. You're getting them into a portfolio of products that's very expansive. We're going to talk about Cortex tomorrow. When we talk about all the other cloud forward kind of cloud transformation applications from Palo Alto, like the CN series firewalls, Global Protect or Prisma. When we talk about Cortex, when we talk about endpoint, now you're starting to get this very large kind of expansive portfolio, so it's real easy to land and expand with those customers. And obviously, the payback to the partner and what we do with discounts and things like that, based off of their purchasing is also pretty substantial as well.
So if anyone in our audience would like to see a demo of how Prisma works, who should they contact?
So everybody that has a account rep can reach out to their account rep. If they don't have an account rep, of course, they can email you at headintheclouds at cloudharmonics.com. That goes to you, to me, and to a couple of other of our sales leads who will be able to direct the right associate to the partner to get that done. And guys, when it comes to the support side of things with you, we're here to provide SE support. We're here to provide capture the flags. We can do demos. We can help augment PS or anything. And as always, we have our ASC. Most of our Prisma sales go through our ASC. So, we have the support to be able to help back you in pre-sales, post-sales, and long-term viability of your customer base.
Well, this has been so informative, Jason. Thank you. If you would like more information on Prisma Cloud, head over to the Palo Alto Network's vendor booth for more details. So it looks like we may have a couple of questions in the chat box. Steve?
Yeah, Jules and Jason, we have a question from Paul. I believe Jason basically touched on this earlier, but are the cloud-hosted Prisma front end just a virtual gateway that forwards users to local firewalls, or is it a full VM firewall that is managed by the person who's a Prisma customer? From Paul.
So that's an excellent question. In the deployment of Prisma, there is actually a couple of components. If we're talking about a user's access from the Prisma gateway that they connect to, which is a full VM firewall, back to the data center, they're going to go through what's called a CAN, or a Customer Access Network device. That device is not necessarily a Palo Alto firewall. It's a smaller router VPN device that literally just creates those service connections back to the data center. So the traffic from the data center back to those Prisma users is secured. That being said, that is deployed the same way a gateway is deployed. So it can be deployed close to your data center, and it can be deployed globally as well. And those come with the Prisma Access license. But when you buy Prisma Access, you're getting access to at least 2 of those service connections, which are facilitated by the CANs, and at least 2 gateways, which you can put in geographically dispersed locations. When we talk about network access, that's what's called an SPN. Again, that is a full VM series firewall that they will manage just like they manage any other firewall in their environment through Panorama or through the Cloud Panorama or Web Panorama that you have access to at apps.paloaltonetworks.com. And that can create the VPNs back to our endpoint firewalls at branch sites, things like that, Soho sites, so that all that traffic gets routed through that same security mechanism or security layer. Hope that answered your question for you, Paul.
Thank you, Jason. Were there any other questions, Steve?
That looks like it was it. Yeah,
All right,
Paul was very happy with that response, it looks like.
Good.
Excellent, excellent. Well, without further ado, let's give away that $50 Amazon gift card. Is everybody ready? All right. So we're thinking of a number from 1 to 1,000. So what I want you to do is in the chat box, type any number, your best guess. We'll give you all just a minute or so. This will also capture your attendance for the Oculus Quest 2 giveaway. So remember, in order to be eligible for that giveaway, make sure you join our podcast tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't already had a chance, be sure to check out our charity booth where you can do your good deed for the day by donating your $20 token to the charity of your choice. Also, I would encourage you to take a few minutes out of your busy day to go have a little bit of fun at the arcade. We've got Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, and my personal favorite, Duck Hunt. All right.
Hey guys, just one thing real quick. We've got a couple of duplicate names like Jason. That is not me that's typing those numbers in there, guys. So if you wouldn't mind, just type your email address and then the number that you put in there. That'll make it a little bit easier for us to make sure we're picking the right Jason out of the bundle, or if there are other users with overlapping names. And thank you very much.
Cloud Harmonics employees are not eligible for this giveaway. Ruth, Chris.
I think our winner is Greg.
Looks like it is Greg. Greg, put your email in the chat as well.
Oh, awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I hope to see you all back tomorrow for Head in the Clouds, Episode 2 on Cortex by Palo Alto Networks. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us today, Webheads. And remember, keep your feet on the ground and your head in the clouds.